Hi friends, Miss Sasha here from the Owensburg Public Library. I work in the circulation department, so I'm usually one of the ones that helps you check out your books or get a library card or find books. So I'm coming to you today from my house. I'm currently in my art studio. I do a lot of the Harry Potter stuff that you see at Halloween. So not only do I love books, but I also really love art and I love to make stuff. So, because I miss all of you guys so much, and I couldn't be in work, and we couldn't come into the library, I thought that we could make a castle today. So, here in a minute, we're going to get started. But the one thing I really want you guys to know and to remember, one of the best things about art is that you get to make it whatever you want. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. It doesn't matter if you use the same things I do. You guys are always great at coming up with really awesome ideas that are really creative. Kids are amazing at that. My son can make stuff that I have absolutely no idea how he does it. So, just keep in mind when you're doing this, if you don't want to do it the way I do it, it's totally okay. If you have another idea to work into it, awesome, do it. This is your castle, this is your story. So, we're gonna get right to it. Okay, now here is my castle. So, you can see that it might be missing some parts. It doesn't have a tower over here. There's no door. But that's okay, because I only did part of it so that you can see how I do certain things. Now remember, this is your castle, so if there's something that I've used that you don't have, that's okay. You can think of another option and be creative with it. And look around your house, ask your parents and see what they have, or work together and see what you might be able to come up with. So, what I have used is 2 boxes. You don't have to use 2 boxes. You can use 1 box or 3 boxes. Doesn't matter what size. Use what you have. So, I have a shoe box. These are paper towels tubes that I've wrapped and then painted. If you don't have a paper towel tube or a toilet paper roll for the smaller ones, that's okay. You can use, I will show you, that you can use just construction paper or white plain drawing paper and color it to make your own tower. So you have lots of options. So for my bottom box, I have wrapped this in butcher paper, kind of like a present. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. You can ask your parents. They probably know how to do that. And then I used paint, and I'll show you how to do that if you want to do this stone look. And then on my top box, I used construction paper and did the same thing here for the paint. So let's get to how to do your base, your castle building. So this one is pretty much done, this bottom one. So we're going to move this out of the way so we have some more room. And I'm going to show you how to do, if you don't have butcher paper, how you can use either just plain white drawing paper or construction paper. So, right here, I chose black. You can choose any color you want. This is your castle. So what I did is I took a piece of construction paper, and then to make it easy, I just took my box, and for each side, I set it down, and it fits perfectly right there, if you can see that. And then I traced it. Makes it so simple. And then Black's kind of hard to see with a pencil, but that's okay. So then I took my construction paper, and it's kind of hard to see the line on here, but there's that line, and I cut it. And I did this for each of the sides. And then, because I couldn't find my double stick tape, I glued them on. I do have my double stick tape now. So, for ways to make these things all stick, you have all sorts of options that you can do. We have double stick tape. We have regular Scotch tape. You can use a glue stick, or you can use Elmer's glue. You could use rubber cement. You could even use a hot glue gun, but make sure that you're either old enough to do that or your parents are there to help you with that one because it gets really hot. So I have that piece cut out, and I've already started this one so you can see how I did this. So how I did this is I took a paper, I have a paper plate, and we're going to mix up some, I used acrylic paint. I have some black, and I have some white. So black and white make gray, because I wanted gray to look like stone. And we just put those on there. And then I have a little cup with some water and paper towel. And we mix these together so we can get our gray. And it doesn't have to be a solid color. It can be kind of swirly like this. You can add more white or more black depending on what you want. I would like a little more white with mine, maybe. There we go. So that it'll show up against that black paper. And there we go. And I'm going to kind of leave it like this because I like the different kind of colors in there. Then I took a sponge. This is just a regular dish sponge. Now if you decide to do this, before you do this, ask your parents if it's okay. And they may need to cut the sponge for you. So I cut it down to this little tiny size. It's like a little rectangle. And then I just dip it in my paint. Like this. Now, you can see that there's still some of the sponge showing. That's totally okay. It gives you kind of a cool pattern. Back in my day, sponge painting your walls was really cool. I don't think it's so cool anymore. But then, if you can see, we're going to do this, and we are going to put it down on our paper and lift it up. And then you give it a little space for the next one, and then you do the next one. And then we got one more over here. And then if you need more paint, you just dip it a little bit in your paint. And I kind of like mine staggered a little bit so all the lines don't add or aren't the same. So we just do that. And a little more over here. And then that's done. So you can do that for each of your pieces. You can do this either before or after you put them onto your box. So you do want to make sure that you let this dry before you put it on. Or if you're painting it on your box, if you need to set this side down, make sure that you do this side, let it dry before you flip it. Otherwise you will get paint everywhere. So I'm going to take some double stick tape because it's faster than glue. But glue is totally fine too. And I'm just going to put it like this in my corners. Now, if you don't have double stick tape and you only have regular tape, that's okay. One of our patrons at the library taught me a trick, and we'll see if I can do this with you guys. If you take a piece of regular Scotch tape and you fold this end up like so, it's kind of hard because it wants to stick to my fingers, like that, Then you fold the other one across like this, and you make kind of a triangle, and then you fold, you've got a little tab here, you fold that tab. Then you have this cool tape triangle, and it holds really well because it's kind of taped together also. So we'll just stick that one in the middle. Okay, now we're gonna lay this down, line it all up. It's still kind of wet, but that's okay. I don't mind getting messy. That's why I like art. It's also messy. Okay, wipe my fingers off a bit. All right, there you go. We've got our sides done with construction paper. So our next thing to do is to make our cool little towers. Now you can do this any way you would like. There's multiple ways you can do this. If you don't have paper, you can even flip a drinking cup upside down to make a tower. You can use a toilet paper roll. You can paint that or leave it as it is. Use marker. You can roll up, this one's rolled up construction paper, and I've just taped it on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the tower out of just paper. So you're just going to roll it. Now I want it tall. If you wanted it shorter, you could roll it this way. If you want it taller, you can roll it this way. I would like it taller. So we're just going to do this and roll it up into a tube. That's pretty. And I'm going to let it go a little bit. If you let it go a little bit, then it just makes it a little bit bigger around. And I'm going to hold this edge, and I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to wrap my tape onto the inside. There we go. I'm going to tape that other end just like that, and put a couple in the middle for good measure. There you go. Now we have the base of our tower. Now you can leave it like that, or you could make stones on it with a marker. You just can draw some lines like, well, we'll do this one, like this. You can draw lines and then go like this. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. Ah, there we go. And then you can draw another line all the way around like that. Okay. See, it looks kind of like stone. So that's another way to do it. These short ones, done the same way. I just covered some toilet paper tubes with paper. Now, we're going to make our roofs. Okay, so you're going to want to cut a round piece of paper that's bigger than the top of your tower. I do that. I am really bad at drawing perfect circles, so I cheat. I find things about the size that I want that are round and use them and trace them. Happened to find a candle that was the size that I wanted. So there you go. And just wipe that off. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see it, but there's a perfect circle on there. And then we're going to cut that out. After we cut that out, it will look like this. So in the middle of this, you're going to want to take your scissors and cut up to the middle, just like that. Looks kind of like a Pac-Man. if the kids still know what Pac-Man is these days. Then you're going to take this piece of paper and go inside, and the other one's going to go on the outside. And you're going to line these edges up just like that. And on the inside, you'll see a little tab in here where that other cut was. We're going to tape that. Or you can glue it if you don't have tape. Again, you totally improvise. Make up your own way of doing it. I decided for my other ones that I was going to glue in here. But again, you have to hold it for a little bit to make sure that it sticks and doesn't come flying apart. So for this one, I'm going to use some double stick tape. And I'm going to put it in here so that you can't see it, hopefully. And I'm just going to do that. And now we have our roof. So to keep our roof on, I just went with some glue around. Oh, I gotta open my glue first though. I just went around the edge of my tower. Little bit right there. Now these also these roofs actually kind of stay on there without gluing them down, but I liked securing them. And then we're gonna pop our roof on like that, and you gotta hold it for a minute so that the glue can set up like that. So now that we have that done, we can move on. Towers often have windows. So, and these ones also have windows. That's real simple. Again, you can color it with marker, or you can use some yellow paper or white paper and color them yellow, or if you want your windows dark, you can color them black. That's okay too, we don't mind. So I kind of just folded this up so that this edge and this edge meet each other and are even, and I went like this, and then I cut it. It's real simple. And it's okay if it's not perfect. Mine isn't perfect. So you have a strip like this, and then depending on how big you want your windows, you just cut them. There you go. You got some windows. Now I did, on my towers, I did ones that are kind of rounded at top. You don't have to do that. They can be square. Oop, tower falling. And that's okay. If you want to do those, you just take your scissors like this and round the edges. And then you have a rounded window. Okay, so then for your window frame, you don't have to do this. You can trace around it with a marker, or you can use another piece of colored paper and just glue them, or tape. That works too. You can see me doing that. Just like that. And then you're going to give yourself some room. Make this a little bit bigger on the brown part. And there you go. Now, you can leave it like that. I like my windows to look like window panes, so I'm just going to draw a line straight down, and then I'm going to draw a line across. And there you go. We got a little window. And we can put him wherever we want. We can put him just like these. I haven't drawn the lines on them yet, but that's okay. All right. So we've got our towers and we've got our windows. After you do this, you're just going to put those on here like that. And then you have windows on your towers and your castle building. So the next part are these little things. You see a lot of castles with this top part. I think it's so the archers can stand up there. So for that, it's real simple. We're just gonna take a piece of paper. I took a strip of paper, and again, you can measure them out for how long each part is. You don't have to measure. You can just hold it up like this, and then you see the back part right here. You just draw a line there, and then you know how big it needs to be. Try to make this as simple as possible. And if it's not perfect, again, it's okay. So to make this, these little notches, it's pretty simple. You're just going to take your paper, you're going to cut down to where you want it, then you're going to swing your scissors over, cut across, and then where that line ends for the cut, you're going to cut down. And then sometimes you got to give it a little pull. And then we'll do one more down and across. And there you go. So again, I used glue for these, but this time I am going to use some double stick tape. This stuff is great. It makes things go so much faster. So we're going to put it on the back just like that. I usually like to do things on the ends and then one in the middle. And then we're going to take this and just place it like that and give it a little push so that it sticks. And there you go. Have the back. And you have your cool little top of your castle. Okay, so how do we get in a castle? We need doors. Okay, well, you can make a square door, or you can make, I made rounded doors, kind of like a drawbridge. And you can leave them plain, or you can make them stone. I'm decided I wanted to kind of make mine like a wood door. So if you can see this, we'll go this way, I think. I just drew some, I'm just going to draw some lines. I am also not good at drawing straight lines. Usually I use a ruler. So it's okay if it's not perfect. Mine isn't perfect. And that one's definitely not perfect. There we go. Okay, we got ourselves a door. Oh, well, we should have a doorknob, I think. So draw a little circle here and just fill it in. So there is my door. And now I have a smaller door for up here. You can draw your door stuff before or after you get them on. Either way is totally fine. So I'm going to reach down here again and grab my other base. Put that little guy aside. We're just going to stick our door on here like this. Now you could even try and make this an actual drawbridge that goes down somehow with some like string. So we're just gonna put that right about in the middle-ish. Like that. And we have a door for our castle. Okay. So now we gotta assemble it, and that is pretty easy. We're just going to, and you don't have to put all the pieces together. Maybe you have a shoebox that you wrap just the top, and the top comes off so you can play with stuff inside of it. And that's okay. Or maybe you want to be able to take it apart so you can put different pieces together. That's okay too. So we have our little towers here. Right here. Come back, tower. There we go. And you could stick some tape right onto that so that your tower stays there. And just like that, if it will stay for us, maybe. And then we've got our 2 towers up here. Now if you want these to stick, you can use either double stick tape, or you can use a ring of Elmer's glue right around the base and stick it on and hold it for just a little bit so that it'll stay. Alright, so there is our castle. Now it's ready to be played with, stuck out as a decoration, put in your room as something cool, whatever you would like to do. I hope you enjoyed making a castle with me. Maybe we'll put this in the library so you can come and actually see it in person. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.